is Mr. Assassin, and I'm here today to do the 7 Deadly Sins chapter 161 and 162, because this week it seems that we have two chapters of the 7 Deadly Sins. It's like someone over there heard me that I'm only going to do a review once every 2 chapters, and voila, this week we have 2 chapters of the bat. So I'll do the review. And because these are all fighting chapters, I quite enjoy them. So it's been some time since I enjoyed a chapter of the 7 Deadly Sins, but this actually begs some questions. So let's get into the chapters. First chapter 161, very simple. It seems that all the teams that the 10 Commandments wanted to be there are there. They were somehow, either they got there or they were guided there, but all the teams are right there. And everyone else that is still stuck in the maze is insignificant. So what the lady does, the lady of the 10 Commandments, because I don't know her name, what she does is actually kill everyone inside the maze. And she does so with an attack called Spirit Lance Vasquez 9 form Death 4. Now, according to the Fairy King, this is the attack of a fairy. And at the end of the chapter, we see that she is actually the first fairy king, Gloxinia. So that raises some questions, because now we got a fairy king, we got a giant that is the giant god, actually, Dolor. We had Garen, that Garen was actually, I think he was a knight at some point, because he dressed up like a knight. So the 10 Commandments are people that were the best at their time 3000 years ago, and the Demon King simply selected them, or they bowed to the Demon King. We don't know exactly how it happened, and the Demon King granted them even more power and immortality. That's how it seems at this moment, which is very intriguing, because I didn't expect that we will meet the Demon King, but the way things are going and the direction the story is heading into, we might meet the Demon King, because after defeating the 10 Commandments, I think Meliodas would want to know who did this to them, who granted them this power, and who corrupted them. And in fact, the Demon King may actually be amongst them, among the 10 Commandments. It may actually be the guy who was spewing dark energy from him, and who transformed that little bird into a demon just by the bird staying on his finger, on his arm. The guy who looks like an elder Meliodas. He might be the Demon King. We don't know. Okay, moving forward. So chapter 161 is very simple. The entire teams are there. Gloxinia uses an attack to clear the maze of the remaining people that were insignificant to her. Then she tells Dolor to create a stage. Dolor does some earth magic and creates 2 giant hands, and that will be the scene where they will be fighting upon. And of course it is the shocker of the Fairy King, the current Fairy King, because he sees Gloxinia for the first time, and he wonders how she got here. And I have to make a retraction. Gloxinia actually is a man. It sounded more as a woman, and from its appearance, the Fairy King appearance, it looked like a woman, because that's how it's drawn. But apparently Gloxinia is a man, whatever. In chapter 162, this is what's happening. First of all, Gunther shows up, and he shows up from the maze, and everybody is in amazement, because everything in the maze was dead. There was no sense of life, but of course they do not know that Gunther is a doll. He actually has no life. So Gunther shows up, and Dolor actually says, Gunther, I have heard of that name somewhere, but I cannot quite place it. But that's that. Apparently Gunther lands on Escanor, and he breaks Escanor's glasses. And Escanor makes a fuss that these were the glasses from Merlin, and what will happen because his glasses are broken. And of course he gets impaled by the first Fairy King Gloxinia. He gets impaled, and I don't think he would have died, but she did choose the one that was the weakest, because Escanor is getting stronger with the sun, and because right now I think it's night, he's the weakest. So she did choose the weakest one, so she could finish him with one attack. And even though she impaled Escanor, he was not dead. And then she uses another attack to make him well again. So she cures him, and this was a demonstration of her power to make everyone believe that she could actually grant any wish that they want. After everyone saw this display of powers and everyone decided to participate in the tournament, they go to the next stage. Dolor creates platforms and takes everyone by surprise. Platforms of earth, and the platform starts levitating. And on each of the platforms there are two people, and those two people are supposed to make a team. According to the lore, it was a random and they have been chosen by fate. So, it is what it is. Now, the first team is Meliodas and Bam, which is a very powerful team. The second team is Hendrickson and Griamore, the little kid. The third team is King and Diane, which is romantic. The fourth team is Tora and Jigmo. They are from the Marika Assassination Squad. On the fifth team, there's another Marika Assassination Squad member, Estaro, and the sacrilegious monk Arbus. On the sixth team, there's Arthur, King Arthur, and the foreign swordman, the samurai Nanashi. On the seventh team, there's Hauser and the troubadour Solatido, the one that was singing. So apparently he's powerful. I think he's powerful, but everyone thinks he's weak. On the eighth team, there's Danzo Sladder, and the gladiator Hyphen. On the ninth team, there's the Diamond Holy Knight Gilthunder and the magician Gilfrost. So very similar names there, Gilthunder and Gilfrost. And on the 10th team, there's Escanor and Hook. Yeah, Escanor doesn't need any teammates. Escanor is powerful enough as he is. 11th team is Gunter and Jericho. The 12th team is Matrona and Oslo, the dog from King. And then on the 13th team, there was a single guy, the Holy Knight Silver, which no one has any idea who he is. But since he hasn't got a companion, the Fairy King Gloxinia calls down her birds, her mutant birds, and one of the birds perishes with this guy, and then she makes another team, the Blue Demon team, the 14th team with Dolzo and Galzo. And then the demons do something very devious. They put Elizabeth and Elaine in the same team, and you know that neither Elizabeth nor Elaine can actually fight. They are healers. They cannot actually fight against everyone. So they're the 15th team, and in order to have a 16th team, those are the demon's puppets on the 16th team. A puppet of the lore and a puppet of Gloxinia. And basically now the tournament will begin. So those are the chapters, very interesting chapters, especially now that we know the true identities of the 10 commandments. I mean, not all of them, but this is shaping up to be very interesting in regards to the 10 commandments identity. So that's it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day.
Any rational society would either kill me or put me to some use.